guys, Misty here. Welcome back to another keto update. If you're new around these parts, my name is Misty. This is my companion channel for my alter ego, the Jolly Fat Elf, and this is where I share more personal updates, etc. I started a ketogenic way of eating on March 6th at 425 pounds, and last weekend I weighed in at 415, I believe. I think I'm down 10 pounds. So over the last 2 weeks, I have been intermittent fasting. And so this update is for the last week, which was my week 7. So week 7 was a rough week for Miss Misty. I had 2 separate nerve conduction studies, one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday. And it was just a long, emotional, painful week. So on Monday, I was home. If you watch my Plan With Me's on my other channel, you know that Rob had to go to the courthouse to see if he had jury duty. Luckily, he didn't, but I stayed home because we only have one car, and I can work from home, no problem. I ate probably around 1 o'clock, and I waited a little too long to eat. I just got busy doing other things. And I had 5 scrambled eggs. I finished up a carton, and then I made 6 of those little banquet, they're like this big, little sausage links. And then for dinner, I don't remember what we ate. It was my intention to film everything that I ate last week, and I did Monday, and then I just like Monday lunch. And then the rest of it just completely slipped my mind. So if you are new to keto, or if you're new to intermittent fasting, keto is a low carb, high fat diet with moderate protein. And then it is intermittent fasting is just where you wait a certain number of hours between your meals. Most people do that anyway because a lot of people eat dinner and then they don't eat again until the next morning. I've been eating dinner probably around 6 or 7 and then not eating again until noon or so the next day. So Monday I ate about 1 o'clock. On Tuesday I went to my regular primary care physician because I mentioned, I don't know if I talked about it in this keto update, but I know I talked about it in my health update in my weigh-in that I have been having some severe anxiety about all the health issues that have been going on and all the testing, etc. And I asked my doctor to send me some anxiety medication to the pharmacy, and the nurse called back and said that he sent Wellbutrin, which I was already on. So I made an appointment to go see him, and luckily he hadn't received my brain MRI results, but he the way, he's affiliated with the hospital, and so he was able to pull my results, and my brain is fine. So I don't have brain cancer, a brain tumor, or multiple sclerosis. So yay, we rolled some things out. I told him I had to have some anxiety medication. And he was like, well, you said a few years ago. I was like, I know what I said a few years ago. I said, and I hope once all of this calms down and I have a diagnosis or a plan of action or whatever, that I can go back off of it. But for right now, I need something 24-hour. And then we talked about my diabetes and how my A1C was 9. And I said, what do you expect? I said, since October, I've been on a steroid basically every month. I said, on top of that, my body is going through whatever the crap it's going to. And I said, my body and my blood sugars are very sensitive to stress and anxiety. In the last month, March 29th, since March 29th, it has been extremely emotional and extremely stressful. And no matter what I do, no matter how low carb I go, my blood sugars are high because of cortisol or whatever, stress, whatever you want to call it. So he and I had a long and good talk about that, and he let up a little bit. I said, I understand. I said, I see an endocrinologist. I said, my numbers, are in the lower 100s during the day. I said, it's just that fasting number that's been high. And all of them have kind of been high. But yeah, so I had a coffee that day. I stopped at Starbucks after that appointment. I was so stinking nervous about that nerve conduction study in the afternoon that I knew if I ate, I would probably throw up. And that's not something I normally do. I don't normally get that anxious, but I was this time. So I normally get a Trenta iced coffee, no classic, heavy cream instead of milk, and 4 Splenda. And it works out to be about 400 calories. So it says, give or take. And I don't like to use Splenda for the most part, but I also don't carry liquid stevia with me anymore. I used to, but I don't anymore. So, and I rarely have Starbucks. I'm not a huge coffee drinker, but I'll have it maybe once every couple of weeks or something. So that was Tuesday. I went to the nerve conduction study, and if you've ever had one, you know what I'm talking about. It was probably I would rather have my gallbladder out 4 more times rather than do that again. It was just so excruciating. Tuesday we did my arms, Wednesday we did my back and my legs, and that was the absolute worst. So on Tuesday I ended up not eating until I got home and we went out to dinner. I told her, I was like, I'm not cooking. And he's like, what do you want? And I said, I want a steak. I was like, after I went through that bullshit, I wanted something good. So we went to Saltgrass, and I had a 16-ounce ribeye. I had grilled asparagus, which worked out to be like 4 asparagus spears. And then I had 2 side salad with ranch. So that was about a 1,600 calorie dinner. I was okay with that. That was my only meal of the day. I had fasted about 23 hours, and I was really proud of myself for not ordering macaroni and cheese, which is what I wanted. So that was Wednesday, or Tuesday. The doctor told me that I could take something for Wednesday, because he's like, tomorrow's going to be worse than today was. And I was like, Jesus. So I told Rob he'd have to take me. I was like, you got to take me. On Tuesday I took an Uber, and on Wednesday it was like, you're just gonna have to take me. I needed that emotional and moral support. So we went, and I had spoken to my doctor about mixing anxiety and pain meds, because I don't want to do something that could potentially harm myself. And he said, yep, I could do it. So I did. And they basically, if you've never had a nerve conduction study, the whole point of it is kind of see what your muscles and your nerves are doing, that synapses. So they basically tase. He put like little, you can kind of see a bruise. I have huge bruises on my arms and my legs. But he put like 2 metal stickers, and he hooked up what looked like battery cables, and then he used this thing that looked like a taser, and then he pressed down on the muscle and was basically electrocuting my muscles. It was hella painful. And then when he was done with that, he used a really long needle. It's probably about this long. wasn't very thick, but it was this long. And he was inserting it to the muscle, and I had to move so bad. It was bad. And then on Wednesday, he had to do my legs and my lower back, and then he had to do what was called a repetitive test. And I don't know, you know what it looks like when you hook up a 9-volt battery, what you hook it up to? He put something like that, like right here on my arm with the battery cables. And he had to do 10 reps of 10 shocks. And by the time he was done, I was done. I was like, I was done. I was so done. The pain was just completely unbearable. And I told him, I said, I would rather have my gallbladder removed 4 different times than have this done. And he's like, I know it's so painful. He's like, and that's why I told you, because he's like, I had to learn this, and the way I had to learn it was to do it on myself. And I'm like, I can't even imagine. So I'm pretty banged up from the needles, and just, I hope to God I never have to have a test again. He was able to rule out neuropathy, and he did say I have extreme carpal tunnel like in my right arm. I have it in both, but I have it in my right hand, which I knew, as I've probably had that for 20 years. And he was able to rule out ALS. And he said, you know, it would have been weird for you to have ALS because it mostly affects men. Some women do get it, but yeah. So I didn't eat on Wednesday either. I ate like maybe a couple pork rinds, and then I ended up getting really, really sick to my stomach. And I had to take medicine because I was like, I can't go to this appointment and be sick to my stomach at the exact same time. So when we were done, we were almost in downtown Dallas, and we got done like at 4:30, like right around rush hour. So we just stopped at Boston Market, got robbed some chicken, and I didn't want anything. I didn't want anything. So I came home, and did I take a nap? I want to say I took a nap for about an hour, and then I got up and still didn't want anything to eat. And then finally around 8 o'clock, I ate some frozen meatballs. And yeah, it was draining. So on Thursday I went back to work because I worked from home on Wednesday, and I went to work for a few hours on Tuesday, and I woke up that morning just dreading the rest of the week. It's just been really, really hard emotionally and mentally to get through everything. It's just like, oh, Jesus, I just can't. I can't. So it was funny, on Tuesday, I was like, I never want another hamburger in my life. And on Thursday, I woke up craving a bacon cheeseburger from Burger Street. So if you're in the Dallas area, I don't know if you've ever had Burger Street, but their bacon cheeseburger is good. Actually, I got a double with bacon. And they have these things called cheese stuffers, which is basically a tater tot stuffed with cheese, and I got a small order of them. And that was the first day in the last 7 weeks that I went off plan. And I didn't guilt myself. I didn't shame myself. I was in a very vulnerable place on Thursday, and I needed comfort. And unfortunately, the only place that I could find it at that time was in food. And I've done really, really well up until that point. That was the very first time I've gone off plan in almost 2 months. I had a little small order. I think there were 5 of 6 of them, and I haven't gone off again. This is Saturday. I'm filming this on Saturday. So I can't say that I want to make a habit of it. And coincidentally, it didn't do anything to my blood sugar. My blood sugar was, I think, 148 when I went to eat lunch, and 2 hours later it was 148. So it didn't bother me, but it's not something that I want to make a habit of. So and again, it wasn't a craving. It was just I needed to I don't know. When you've been an emotional eater for 34, 35 years of your life, it's really hard to not fall back on that. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that my therapist has been out of his office for the last couple of weeks, and it also had to do with the week. I mean, it's just been rough. It's been really, really rough. This next week is not going to be a cakewalk either. Wednesday, I have an epidural in my neck to address the nerve damage at the base of my neck. And then Thursday, I go see the neurologist. And then Thursday afternoon, I see my therapist. So, yeah. I have a meal plan for next week. Tomorrow I am making a pot roast for Rob. I'm not a huge pot roast fan. I will eat it every once in a while, but we're going to try it with radishes. I've seen a lot of people in the groups I'm in talk about radishes and how they're very similar to potatoes. Now, people say that about cauliflower. That's bullshit. Cauliflower don't taste nothing like no daggone potato. And if I have it like that, I really, 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 really have to doctor it up. So y'all can have your cooked cauliflower. I like it pickled, and I like it raw. So I can eat a jardiniere, is that what it's called? I can eat a hot and spicy cauliflower all day or day, but I don't like it cooked. Radishes, I've only ever had them raw. But I can see where they may be similar, because aren't they this like in the same family as a turnip? I used to make turnip gratin all the time. I haven't done it in quite a bit, but because I just can't cook that way. So I'm making a pot roast for him tomorrow, and that's literally put it in a bag, put it in the oven, cook it. We're gonna have tacos, which for me is just a taco salad. What else are we having this week? I'm gonna do steak and asparagus, because that's really easy too. I cook the steak and then I throw the asparagus in, cook it real quick, and then we'll have leftovers on Wednesday, because I won't be able to do anything on Wednesday. I can't lift, I can't bend, so cooking is out. Bending over is out. I'm sure I will probably sleep all day. Or most of the day, I'll be under general anesthesia. They're not going to intubate. They're not going to intubate me, but they are going to put me under. So, and depending on the anesthesiologist, I normally either wake up with a really bad headache, wake up with nausea, or I sleep for a really long time afterward. So we'll see. So we're going to eat. I already told Rob, we'll just grab something for lunch or breakfast. I go in at 7, so it may be a late breakfast. And then Saturday is my birthday. I'll be 39, and I'm trying to decide where I want to go for my birthday lunch. So yeah, so that's it. I didn't weigh in today. I was going to weigh in today, but Rob was already out and about, and he has to get the scale out for me to do it. And by the time he was done, I'd already been sitting for a few hours, and I swell like any normal person would. And I like to weigh very first thing in the morning, after my morning constitution, and while I'm naked. So that's when I like to weigh. So yeah, so I will hopefully have a weigh-in video for you next week. That's my goal. If anybody asks, this is Too Faced Melted Lipstick in Fig, one of my favorite colors. I think this is Becca and Opal. And then Anastasia on my eyebrows. This is a blush from Milani. So yeah, I don't know if you guys care about that, but sometimes people do. So yeah, that's it. For my lunches this week, I bought a ton of jalapenos, and instead of wrapping them in bacon, which is really labor intensive for me right now, I'm gonna mix the cream cheese with bacon pieces that we get like at Costco. It's just real bacon already cooked and crumbled up, and I'm gonna mix that together and then put it in the jalapeno and then cook those. And because I don't know why I'm on those, but I'm on a kick. I have a recipe for sugar-free, low carb, gluten-free, sugar-free brownies, and I may give that a try. I have wanted chocolate. I'm not a chocolate eater normally, but I've been wanting it, not craving it. I just want it. So I thought I would give that a go to see if we like them, and that's something I can, bake up and then maybe put them in the freezer or something. We'll never eat a whole pan. So yeah, so I think that's it. I kind of went around and around the circle. So I'm still doing well on my water. I haven't been logging my FitnessPal that much this week, just because I haven't been eating much this week. I feel like maybe I've lost a couple of pounds, but I don't. This is where I want to lose it. Like, want this to go. I hate it. I've always been super confident and never really concerned about my looks per se, but I want this gobbler gone. Like, that will be the true test of weight loss for me, is to no more gobbler. Alright guys, so I made the flank steak this last week, and so hopefully I will have that video for you guys on Friday. If I make those brownies, I will see if I can film a video, kind of a recipe review for you guys on that. That's it. You guys pray for me this week. Oh, I just want a diagnosis or a plan of action or just to make things better. That's my main concern. I just want to make things better. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. I will see you soon. Bye for now.